of Nigeria has expressed concern that Nigeria is ill prepared to handle the challenges posed by its rapidly growing urban population, warning that a lack of coordinated planning and data driven policies could worsen the country's housing and infrastructure deficits. The president of AHCN, Dr. Victor Inoguga, raised the alarm in an interview over the weekend, urging the government to adopt a more holistic approach to urban development that integrates housing, transportation, and environmental management. According to him, the pace of Nigerian urbanization has outstripped available infrastructure, leaving many cities struggling with congestion, poor sanitation, and slum proliferation, and also inadequate housing supply. If you ask me, I think this is a valid outcry. Recently, we've seen how the rapid or the constant rains has made life unbearable for some people. Our roads are flooded, it's congested. We seen some houses even being flooded, properties being destroyed and whatnot. And this is due to poor planning, as stated by the Association of Housing Corporation. And if you ask me, I think they are in the right situation, they are in the right seat mention or tackle the situation. So I like the fact that they've called upon the government and drawn their attention to some of our plights, because if anybody is to be listening to, they are the ones to be listening to. So fortunately for us, this is a conversation we're having this morning on the economy. And my guest in the studio is none other than Mr. Ikechukwu Chukwu. Good morning, Mr. Ikechukwu.
Good morning, Anthony. Happy to be here with you.
How are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
I hope the rain did not disrupt your activities too much.
Rain have a way of naturally disrupting activities. We keep soldiering on. When you have a lot to do, you may be delayed, and or that your movement may be delayed. In fact, certainly would be delayed.
Yeah.
But somehow, when you consider what needs to be done, you keep soldiering on. As if I was trying to get a word to use.
to use for that. Well, one would say that considering how we've lived our whole lives with some of this natural phenomenon, rain, sunshine, whatever it is, we would have adapted as human beings and known how to navigate around these issues.
Yeah, to some extent we have, especially with trim, but we have not so much. Maybe I don't understand your word adaptation anyway. If you mean adaptation is having it in such a way that,
I mean, you know, it's going, okay, let's say for example in our own homes, we know it's going to rain, we have to go to work tomorrow, right? So there's a way for us to get a data on when it's going to rain, how it's going to rain,
absolutely,
how much is going to rain. You prepare your umbrella, making sure that you're not caught up in the rain.
Absolutely. Yes. We have the meteorological services, and
yes,
back in recent time I've not seen too much of that on the local television stations. But back in the
we do have it on our phones.
Weather report, weather forecast
during the news, before, after, or even in between.
Earlier in between the news, they give you a weather forecast of what to do. And like you rightly said, we have it in our phone. Our phone is one of the most underutilized device we have. Most people just make call and chat with it, other things. I mean, you see a guy holding phone and say asking somebody what is the time, what is the time. Why his phone should have all that sorted out. And another then. Talking of umbrella, I was reading somebody recently on social media. In Nigeria, really don't have a culture of umbrella. In some places, it's a given that they go out with their umbrella, man or woman. But here in Nigeria, most people, even ladies, like the example the person I was reading cited, you see a lady wearing a hair of 500,000 and all that. He doesn't have a single umbrella. How do you expect you want to wet that hair? But that's eventually what's
going to happen.
So, so we don't have that culture of umbrella. Even those who have car, you would think that you just tuck the umbrella somewhere in the car, in the dashboard or something, so that when you are stepping out, you pick it. The guy also doesn't have. I mean, others who walk may say, it's inconvenient, but this guy is driving. You just think that he will just have his umbrella. In fact, umbrellas tucked somewhere in the car, they go to another, but he doesn't have. So it's a cultural thing. We don't have it to that extent. We have not learned to cope with the rain.
With the rain. Now let's translate that into our policies, into our government, into our town planning and development. You just made mention a typical example. Human beings don't. we on this part, at this part, we don't utilize the umbrella. We know for the world that it's going to rain. Even if you didn't get the forecast in the news or you don't have it on your phone, you could tell from the weather, when changing weather. Like I said, human beings have lived long with natural phenomenon, so we could tell when it's going to be bright, we could tell when it's going to rain, we could tell when it's going to be cloudy. So we are supposed to plan against the inevitable, right? But unfortunately, somehow we don't do that. We know what we're supposed to do, but we don't do that. That also translates to how our governments also relate to the people. We've been having, whenever it rains, we've been having